Now, in London, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange faces a court hearing today over a U.S. extradition request. And Washington has charged Assange with conspiring to steal confidential military files and intelligence. Assange's lawyer says Assange cannot expect to get a fair hearing under the British system. The remark came after a British judge sentenced Assange to 50 weeks in prison for escaping bail 7 years ago. The WikiLeaks editor-in-chief has called the sentence an outrage and says the verdict will be a question of life and death for Assange, which runs afoul of journalistic principles. CGTN's Jamie Owen sat down with UK Minister Alan Duncan, who oversaw Assange's arrest.
You were reportedly responsible for getting Julian Assange moved out of the Ecuadorian embassy. Do you have any regrets about that decision?
Regrets? I'm delighted. He should have been out years earlier. He was just there rotting by his own choice. It's a pity that the previous Ecuador government ever gave him asylum, because he was able to get in, but he never worked out how he was going to get out. And the new government, with whom we've been working very closely for a few months, have been very sensible, and we worked out all the legalities of making sure that we were consistent with the Vienna Convention in being invited into the embassy, that the police were able to do what they had to do. And I think that, frankly, if only for his own health, it was absolutely the right thing to do. So far from having regrets, I'm absolutely delighted that we've got this person out of being holed up in 2 rooms in the middle of London.
And what should happen to him next?
Well, that's up to the courts, it's up to the lawyers. I mean, first of all, he has gone into a prison in London because he is in breach of his bail conditions. So that UK domestic process will determine how long he remains in prison. If there's an extradition request, then that'll be determined by lawyers and by the courts, not by me as a politician. So whatever the law and the process of justice delivers, that's what will happen.
Well, Britain's parliament has declared a symbolic climate change emergency. Opposition Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn called for the move.
Today, Mr. Speaker, this House must declare an environment and climate emergency. We have no time to waste. We are living in a climate crisis that will spiral dangerously out of control unless we take rapid and dramatic action now.
Well, the measure was passed as an opposition motion that has no direct consequences for policy. Still, Labour said on its Twitter page that this makes the UK the first country to declare an emergency over climate change. The vote was taken following 11 days of protests organised by climate activist group Extinction Rebellion that brought several London sides to a standstill.